I arrange sterile instruments on the metal tray, each one placed with the precision my mentor drilled into me during surgical rotations. Scalpel, hemostats, gauze. The rhythmic click of stainless steel against stainless steel steadies my breathing. The morning light filters through the blinds of Willow Creek Veterinary Care, casting long rectangles across the linoleum floor. Dr. Lane? My assistant's voice carries from the hallway. Charlie's vitals are stable. Mrs. Gable called to confirm she'll be here at 10. Thanks, Marlene. I finish prepping the surgical tray. Charlie, a caramel-colored chihuahua with soulful eyes, will be my second neuter of the day. A simple procedure. 15 minutes, maybe 20. I glance at my watch. Still enough time to check on him before his owner arrives. I've always preferred spending these quiet moments with the animals rather than catching up on paperwork. Their calm presence grounds me. The front door slams with enough force to rattle the glass. The reception bell jingles violently, its cheerful tone jarring against the harsh entry. Sophie. There you are. My sister's voice strikes like an unexpected thunderclap on a clear day. I freeze, scalpel mid-placement. In the back, calls Marlene, betraying my location with cheerful ignorance. Heavy footsteps, multiple sets, the distinctive sound of plastic carrier bottoms scraping against tile. I barely have time to remove my gloves before Jess bursts into the prep room, our parents trailing close behind. All three wear sunglasses pushed up on their heads. Dad struggles with 2 pet carriers, while Mom clutches leashes tangled around her wrists. 3 dogs strain against their restraints, yapping frantically. Thank God you're here, Jess exclaims, as if she stumbled upon me by miraculous coincidence rather than marching into my workplace unannounced. We need your help. What's going on? The question falls from my lips automatically, while my brain scrambles to process the scene before me. Dad drops the carriers unceremoniously on my freshly sanitized floor. 2 pairs of feline eyes, one amber, one blue glare resentfully through the plastic grates. We're heading out, Mom announces, untangling herself from the leash mess. Right now. Jess nods enthusiastically. Road trip. 3 weeks. Cross country. The doctor says Mom needs to distress, so we're doing it. Grand Canyon. Yellowstone. The works. My mouth opens, then closes. Opens again. And the animals? That's why we're here. Jess beams at me as if I've just caught on to some wonderful surprise. You're a vet. You have the space. You need to watch them. I can't just... It's only for 3 weeks, Dad interjects, already backing toward the door. You've watched them before. For a weekend, not 3. We didn't have time to pack their food, Jess continues, depositing her purse on my instrument table. But you know what they eat, right? And Buddy's been kinda lazy lately, but he's old, so... She shrugs. I stare at the golden retriever, her prized Instagram dog, who pants heavily beside the smaller terrier mixes. His coat lacks its usual luster. Jess, I can't just shut down my clinic too. You're not shutting it down. Mom laughs, the sound brittle. You're just accommodating family, like always. The 3 of them move toward the exit in perfect choreography, a well-rehearsed escape. Wait! I call, desperation rising in my throat. You can't just leave them here. I have surgery scheduled. I need medical records, food instructions. Dad pauses at the doorway, his expression a practiced blend of confusion and hurt. You're a vet, Sophie. Helping family is just what you do. It's not a big deal. The front door slams again. They're gone. 60 seconds from arrival to departure. 5 abandoned animals stare at me, as bewildered as I am. I'm still standing shell-shocked in reception when the door chimes again. Mrs. Gable steps inside, stops abruptly. Her eyes widen at the chaotic scene. 2 cats hissing from carriers stacked near the desk. 3 dogs sprawled across the waiting area floor. Dr. Lane? Dr. Lane? Her voice carries concern. Is everything all right? Heat crawls up my neck. Mrs. Gable, I'm so sorry about this. My family just dropped off their pets without warning. I'll get them situated before Charlie's procedure. She nods, but her expression says everything. This is unprofessional. A clinic, not a kennel. I usher her to a seat while Marlene takes the paperwork, but the humiliation burns. This wasn't a spontaneous emergency. The matching luggage, the coordinated exit. They planned this ambush. The memory surfaces like bile. 2 a.m. Calls about Jess's cat eating fancy cheese. Dad demanding I come over on Sundays to trim his dog's nails. Mom expecting free vaccines while my own business struggles to make rent. Jess's social media posts. My personal vet sister says, as she builds her pet influencer empire on my expertise. My phone pings. A text from Jess. A selfie from the highway, all three wearing sunglasses. Thanks, sis. You're the best. My hands tremble, not with anxiety but with something colder and clearer. Rage. In the afternoon, after Mrs. Gable leaves with post-op instructions for Charlie, I snap a photo of the animals and empty carriers. Evidence. And I open my accounting software. My fingers move mechanically, creating a new invoice. Emergency boarding, 3 weeks. 5 animals, no notice. Total $3,150. I attach it to an email addressed to Jess and my parents. Subject line, payment due upon return. Send. My phone remains silent, no immediate response. But something has shifted in them, in me, in the space between us. The animals whine from their makeshift accommodations. I stare at my screen, at the delivered notification beneath my email. This is just the beginning. I wake to the sound of barking. Again. 3 weeks of this, the constant chorus of whines, howls, and hisses disrupting my clinic's normal rhythm. My phone vibrates on the nightstand. Another client cancellation. That's the 4th this week. The text reads, "Sorry, Dr. Lane, but the barking stressed out my cat last visit. Found another vet." Marlene tried to create a separate space for my family's animals, but Willow Creek Veterinary Care was never designed to be a boarding facility. The building is too small, the kennels too few. I swipe to my email, checking for the 100th time. The invoice I sent remains unread, not a single response from Jess or my parents. When I text about their return plans, I get the dreaded, read receipt, then silence. Today marks 3 weeks exactly. They're supposed to be home. I need my life back. I call my sister. Straight to voicemail. I call my parents. Same result. My fingers hover over the screen before typing. You were supposed to be back today. Where are you? I watch the message status change from delivered to read. The clinic clock ticks toward noon when my phone finally buzzes. My stomach tightens as Jess's name flashes across the screen. The message loads with a photo. Mom, Dad, and Jess grinning in front of Old Faithful, sunglasses perched on their heads. The exact same pose as when they dropped off the animals. We're in Yellowstone. Having so much fun we decided to add 3 more weeks. Watch them for us. Love you. The phone slips from my hand onto the treatment table. 3 more weeks? That's 6 weeks total. 6 weeks of canceled appointments. 6 weeks of trying to care for other people's pets in a clinic that's already stretched thin. 6 weeks of being treated like a free kennel service. Dr. Lane? Marlene pokes her head into the room. Mrs. Gable called to reschedule Charlie's follow-up. She mentioned the noise. I nod, unable to speak past the knot in my throat. That's $4,000 in canceled appointments this month. $4,000 my small practice can't afford to lose. Marlene looked at me with concern and sympathy. She looked as if she was about to say something, but then held back. Later that evening, after Marlene leaves, I sit alone in my office. The building has fallen quiet except for the occasional whimper from the makeshift kennel area. I pull up my accounting software. The screen glares back at me, columns of red numbers where there should be black. My fingers trace down the list of outstanding bills, medical supplies, vaccines, equipment leases. Then I toggle to my personal account, rent due, car payment overdue, student loans in forbearance for the 3rd time. On my desk sits a framed photo from vet school graduation, Dad with his arm around me, Mom beaming, Jess flashing a peace sign. The day I became doctor. Sophie Lane. The day I thought I'd earned their respect. The memory surfaces of Dad handing me his dog's leash at Thanksgiving. Just a quick nail trim, Sophie. You're a vet. What's the big deal? Mom chiming in. Your sister needs you. That's what family does. Family. The word sits hollow in my chest. I pull up my text history. 5 years of messages from Jess. SOS. Mittens ate way too much pate. Throwing up. Call me. Need you to watch the dogs this weekend. Emergency. Can you meet me at the clinic Sunday? Just need quick shots for the new kitten. Not once has she paid a bill. Not once has she scheduled a proper appointment. Not once has she treated me like a professional instead of a convenient resource. I check Instagram. Jess has already posted from Yellowstone, a carousel of vacation photos, ending with one of her in a hotel bed. The caption, "Taking this much-needed break while my personal vet sister at Sophie-Lena Vet Care watches my fur babies. Blessed. Family. Pet influencer." 16,000 likes. My stomach churns as realization dawns clear and cold. This isn't helping family, this is exploitation. And I am a professional. The next morning, Dr. Miller, another local vet who occasionally covers for me, stops by to borrow some supplies. He pauses at the sight of the animals crowded into the space. "Sophie, this isn't right. They're taking advantage of you." I rub my temples, exhaustion weighing down my shoulders. What choice do I have? They're family. Family doesn't treat family like unpaid help. He hesitates, then adds, "My cousin works in animal law. You should at least know your rights." The seed plants itself firmly in my mind. Rights, laws, boundaries. That night, I make the call I've been dreading. My mother answers on the fourth ring. "Sophie, we're having the most wonderful time. Your father found this charming little—" "You have to come get them," I interrupt, my voice steadier than I feel. "This is 3 weeks. I'm running a business." The line goes quiet for a moment. Then she laughs, the sound like glass breaking. "Oh, don't be so dramatic, Sophie. They're fine. You're a vet. What's the big deal? Your sister needs this break." "My clinic is not a kennel. I've lost clients. I can't—" "We'll talk about this when we get back," she cuts in. "I need to go. Your father's waiting for dinner." The line goes dead. I stand in the silent clinic, phone still pressed to my ear, listening to nothing. The animals stir in their kennels at the sound of my breathing. My stand was ignored, dismissed with the casual cruelty of someone who knows I won't fight back, who knows I'll keep feeding the animals, giving them water, cleaning their cages. But something has shifted. The woman who meekly accepted her family's demands is gone. In her place stands Dr. Sophie Lane, DVM, a professional who understands that sometimes the kindest thing you can do is draw a line. And I now know exactly where that line needs to be. Social media notifications chime from my phone, another flood of vacation photos. I swipe them away without looking. 4 weeks into this nightmare, and my family's digital postcards have transformed from irritating to infuriating. The latest Instagram post shows them posing near Old Faithful, my sister's blonde hair whipping in the Wyoming wind, perfect white teeth gleaming. They smile while I drown. "Dr. Lane?" Marlene appears in my office doorway, concern etched across her face. "Mr. Peterson called to reschedule his terrier's dental cleaning. 3rd cancellation today." I nod, scribbling a note on my already chaotic calendar. The cramped kennel setup has transformed my waiting room into what looks like an unlicensed boarding facility. The bark howl symphony starts precisely at 7 each morning, continuing until I shut down at 6. Clients notice. My appointment book thins by the day. "Any word from your sister?" Marlene asks carefully. "Nothing new." I close my laptop, rubbing my temples. Just more vacation photos. Their silence is calculated. They know I won't abandon the animals. They're calling my bluff, waiting for me to cave, to accept this imposition with the same resigned smile I've worn my entire life. I check my watch, almost closing time. I gather the evening medication trays, preparing for final rounds. The small dogs and cats eat quickly, but Buddy, Jess's prized golden retriever, hasn't touched his dinner for 2 days. His water dish remains full. "Come on, boy," I coax, kneeling beside him. His amber eyes look dull, unfocused. When I stroke his flank, his fur feels different, slightly matted, despite Marlene's daily brushing. Jess always joked about Buddy being lazy, showing videos of him sleeping through her attempts to create viral content. "Such a boring dog." She'd laugh, but his face is Instagram gold. Now, as I examine him more carefully, professional alarm bells ring. His gums look pale, his breathing seems slightly labored. I check his chart, 10 years old, well into senior territory for his breed. No medical history on file because Jess never bothered to provide one. "We'll keep an eye on you tonight," I tell him, making a note to recheck before I lock up. After closing, I spend an extra hour deep cleaning kennels, hoping physical labor might burn off some anger. I'm wiping down the reception counter when a thud followed by whining erupts from the back. I run to the kennel room and find Buddy collapsed on his side, panting heavily, eyes wide with panic. No, no, no. I drop to my knees beside him. Clinical training engaging instantly. Temperature elevated, pulse rapid and weak, abdomen tender. He whimpers when I press gently along his sides. I grab my phone, fingers trembling as I punch in Dr. Wallace's number. She runs the specialty veterinary hospital across town. Susan? It's Sophie Lane. I need emergency ultrasound access. Possible kidney failure in a 10-year-old golden. 20 minutes later, I'm following Susan's headlights through the empty streets, Buddy whimpering softly in my back seat wrapped in a clinic blanket. His large body trembles against me each time I reach back to reassure him. The emergency hospital blazes with harsh fluorescent light. Susan meets me at the door, helping transfer Buddy to a waiting gurney. Her team springs into action. IV line, blood draw, temperature check. The familiar medical choreography that normally calms me fails to quiet the rage building in my chest. How long has he been showing symptoms? Susan asks, drawing blood from Buddy's foreleg. I don't know. His owner dropped him with me a month ago, said he was just lazy. The words taste bitter. Susan's expression shifts from professional concern to something harder. Family? My sister. She nods once, understanding everything in those two words. 3 hours of tests confirm what I feared. Advanced kidney disease, severely dehydrated, creatinine levels dangerously elevated. Not something that developed overnight. This has been building for months, possibly a year. All those times Jess joked about him being lazy. He wasn't lazy. He was sick. He needs immediate fluid therapy, medication, special diet, Susan says, reviewing the ultrasound. We can stabilize him tonight, but he'll need ongoing care. I nod mechanically as she outlines the treatment plan. When she hands me the estimate, the numbers swim before my eyes. $3,800. I can put down a deposit from my savings, I hear myself say. Start treatment right away. Back in my car at 2 a.m., exhaustion crashes over me. I dial Jess's number, unsurprised when it goes straight to voicemail. Jess, it's Sophie. My voice sounds strange, tight, controlled, unfamiliar. Buddy collapsed. He's at the emergency hospital with kidney failure. I just paid $3,800 to save his life. You need to call me back. This is not a joke. You ignored this. I follow with a text containing the same information, attaching a photo of the invoice. The message shows as delivered, then read, almost immediately, then nothing. No typing bubble, no callback, just silence. I wait 15 minutes in the parking lot, staring at my phone. Nothing comes. She saw the message read the words kidney failure and $3,800 and chose silence. By morning, I've received no response from anyone in my family. I call Dr. Miller, who covers my appointments without hesitation. Take the day, Sophie, he says. This is a critical patient emergency. When I return to the specialty hospital, Susan walks me through Buddy's condition. He looks marginally better, the IV fluids helping already. You did the right thing, Susan says, reviewing his chart. This dog has been neglected. You need to document everything. The word neglected strikes like a physical blow. This isn't just an inconvenience anymore. This isn't just family taking advantage. This is criminal neglect of an animal. I drive home in a fog, shower mechanically, and collapse into bed. When I wake 3 hours later, my phone shows no missed calls from family. Just a new Instagram post. Jess at a roadside diner, caption reading, Best pancakes in Wyoming, blessed, road trip. Something shifts inside me, my anger cooling into something harder, more crystalline. I open my laptop and search, Oregon pet abandonment laws. The results load instantly. ORS 87.159. Animal abandonment, possessory lien. I read the statute 3 times, making notes. The law requires a 14-day notice period after formal abandonment notification. After that, legal ownership transfers. I start gathering documentation. Screenshots of the original 3-week texts, the 3-week extension message, the emergency hospital invoice, the read receipts on my desperate messages about Buddy. I spend the afternoon creating a detailed timeline, printing everything. When finished, I have a 1-inch stack of papers documenting 6 weeks of planned, calculated abandonment, culminating in willful ignorance of a medical emergency. My phone rings. A number I don't recognize. Dr. Lane speaking. This is Martin Reynolds, attorney at law. Dr. Miller suggested you might need some guidance on an animal abandonment case. I exhale slowly. Yes, I do. The next morning, I stand at the post office counter, holding a thick envelope addressed to my parents' home. Inside, the formal abandonment notice, outlining the medical emergency, the ignored communications, and the 14-day deadline before ownership legally transfers. All notarized, all documented, all irrefutable. Immediately after sending the letter, she took photos of the letter itself, the $3,800 invoice, and the post office receipt. She sent all of these pictures to Jess and her parents via email and text message. But, just like every other time, no one responded. The 14-day waiting period stretches before me like a tightrope. 14 days of caring for animals that aren't mine. 14 days of administering Buddy's expensive kidney medication. 14 days of documenting every single expense in meticulous detail. 14 days of silence. My fingers hover over my phone, the urge to call them crawling up my arm like a persistent itch. I set the device down and return to my paperwork instead. The certified letter I sent has been marked delivered. Someone, a neighbor, the mail carrier had signed for it at my parents' house 3 days ago. The clock is ticking. The morning sun filters through the blinds of the clinic, casting the same rectangles across the linoleum that were there the day they ambushed me. 52 days ago. I check Buddy's chart, noting his improved blood work values. The kidney medication is working, despite how late we caught the disease. How's our golden boy doing today? Marlene asks, leaning against the doorframe of my office. Her gray hair is pulled into its usual practical bun, her scrubs dotted with cartoon dogs wearing stethoscopes. Better. His creatinine levels are stabilizing. I close the folder. Did Mrs. Peterson call about her appointment? Rescheduled for next Tuesday. Marlene lingers, her eyes fixed on the calendar where I've marked day 10 of the waiting period in red pen. Have you heard anything from them? The question knots my stomach. No. Are you going to call them? Before the deadline? The question has plagued me for days. Would a final warning be the right thing to do? The professional thing? The question tastes bitter, like the medicine I've been forcing down Buddy's throat twice a day. I don't know. I admit. Part of me thinks I should. Marlene's expression hardens. Did the letter state the consequences, Dr. Lane? Yes. The certified letter had been painfully clear. My attorney had made sure of that. Then you've done your part. Marlene straightens, smoothing her scrubs. They are adults. This is their choice. The simplicity of her statement loosens something in my chest. They are adults. This is their choice. Their choice to dump 5 animals on me without warning. Their choice to extend their vacation without permission. Their choice to ignore Buddy's medical emergency. Their choice to ignore a legal notice. You're right. Marlene nods once, satisfied, and returns to the reception area. I feed the animals lunch, refill water bowls, administer medications. Each action is documented in my logbook with the same precision I use for surgical records. Time, date, expense, observation. I've become a clinical observer of their abandonment. The 2 cats, Percy and Merlin, have adapted the best. They lounge in the kennels I've expanded with climbing perches, watching me with that particular feline indifference that suggests I exist solely to serve them. The terrier mixes, pepper and salt, still bark frantically whenever the door opens, expecting Jess or my parents. Buddy no longer does. He watches the door with liquid brown eyes but has stopped struggling to his feet at every sound. His resignation feels like betrayal on their behalf. 4 more days pass. I'm in my apartment above the clinic when my phone chimes with a text from Jess. My heart leaps, then plummets when I see it's not about the animals. It's another vacation photo my sister in a sun hat, standing before the Grand Tetons captioned, "Best day ever, blessed." A.D. I throw the phone onto my couch. Their silence is their counterattack. They believe I'm bluffing. They know I'm a caretaker at heart. They're still enjoying their power, assuming I'll break first, that I'll just absorb the $3,800 medical bill, like I've absorbed everything else. In Jess's mind, I would never actually do anything. I love these animals too much. I'll take care of them, just like always. Day 14 arrives with the same morning light. The same rectangles across the floor. I perform surgeries. I see clients. I care for the animals. Buddy's medication costs $174 per week. I document it. At 4:30 p.m., I look at the clock. 30 minutes until the legal deadline. Dr. Miller comes in at 4:45, coffee mug in hand. He sets a cup on my desk without comment. The gesture speaks volumes. Any word? He asks. I shake my head. What will you do if no one shows up? Follow the law. My voice sounds calmer than I expected. I've already contacted Portland Animal Rescue Alliance. Kate knows the situation. Dr. Miller nods, understanding the significance. Kate's organization is known for their rigorous adoption screening. They don't place animals with just anyone. You've given them every chance, he says. I know. The minute hand ticks forward. Outside, rain has started to fall, tapping against the windows like impatient fingers. At 5 p.m. precisely, I close the logbook. No calls, no emails. No one at the door. The legal deadline has arrived. They officially, legally, do not want their animals. My hand doesn't shake when I pick up the phone. The number is already programmed into my contacts. Kate? It's Sophie Lane. My voice echoes in the quiet office. I have 5 legal surrenders for you. The paperwork is all here. Through the line, Kate's voice is professional, empathetic. I'll be there first thing tomorrow, Sophie. I hang up and sit in the silence of my office. The only sounds are Pepper's occasional whine and the rain against the windows. Their overconfidence, their absolute certainty in my fatal flaw has become their legal undoing. Their failure to respond is the entire case. Do you want me to stay? Doctor. Miller asks from the doorway. No. I look up at him. Thank you. I'm fine. And strangely, I am. The anger that's been burning in my chest for weeks has crystallized into something harder, clearer. I'm no longer waiting for their response, their permission, their acknowledgement. For the first time since they walked into my clinic 7 weeks ago, I'm not reacting to them. I'm acting on my own. I check on the animals one final time before locking up. Tomorrow, they'll start new lives with people who actually want them. People who won't treat them as accessories, as afterthoughts, as burdens to be dumped when inconvenient. Buddy looks up at me, thumping his tail weakly against the blanket I've placed in his kennel. I scratch behind his ears. You'll be okay, I tell him. And this time, I know it's true. The rain has stopped by the time I leave. Water glistens on the parking lot asphalt, reflecting the neon sign of my clinic. Willow Creek Veterinary Care glows steadily in the growing darkness, marking the boundary between my professional space and the world outside. I've defended that boundary at last. Whatever comes tomorrow, I've done what needed to be done. Not out of anger, not out of revenge, out of respect. For myself, for these animals, for the law. I drive home in silence, the windows open to the damp spring air, feeling strangely light. The weight of waiting has finally lifted. I watch Kate from Portland Animal Rescue Alliance kneel beside Buddy, her practiced hands moving gently across his thinning coat. The morning sunlight catches in his amber eyes as he leans into her touch. 6 weeks have passed since my family ambushed me. 6 weeks of chaos in my clinic. His medication schedule is in the folder. I explain, handing over the thick manila envelope. The kidney disease is advanced. He'll need the phosphate binders with every meal. Kate flips through the documentation, the certified mail receipt, the text messages, the $3,800 emergency vet bill, her expression hardening with each page. Sophie, she whispers, looking up at me. They never responded to any of this? I shake my head. Not a word. She closes the folder with a decisive snap. You saved this dog's life. We'll find them all perfect homes, especially Buddy. I know a retired couple who specialize in senior pets with medical needs. Will they stay together? The dogs, I mean. We'll try, but honestly, separating them might be better for Buddy. He needs specialized care. I kneel beside the golden retriever, running my fingers through his fur one last time. My throat tightens. For years, I've treated him for free while Jess posted his photos for likes and online sales. I'm sorry, old friend, I murmur. Kate touches my shoulder. Don't apologize. You're doing the right thing. This isn't abandonment. It's a rescue. I nod, signing the surrender papers with a steady hand. The weight lifts from my shoulders with each signature. By the time Kate loads the carriers into her van, I feel lighter than I have in years. The following week passes in blessed quiet. My clinic returns to normal operation. I sleep through the night without checking kennels or administering midnight medications. Mrs. Gable comments on how rested I look when she brings Charlie for his follow-up. Then the bell above the door jingles. I look up from my charts to see Jess burst into the waiting room, our parents trailing behind her. All three wear matching tans and tourist t-shirts from Yellowstone. "Sophie!" Jess calls, her voice bright with entitlement. "We're back. Where are my babies?" The same question she texted before disappearing for 7 weeks. Before ignoring Buddy's medical crisis. Before leaving me with the bill. My mother glances around the empty reception area, frowning. "Are they in the back? They must be so excited we're home." I set down my pen and stand, wiping my hands carefully on a towel. The calm that fills me is unlike anything I've ever experienced. Not numbness, but clarity. I study their expectant faces, seeing for the first time how they've always viewed me, not as a person, but as a service. "They're not here," I say. Jess's smile falters. "What do you mean, not here? Are they at your apartment?" "No." My father steps forward, his brow furrowing. "Sophie, stop being difficult. Where are the animals?" I walk to my desk and remove a single envelope from the top drawer. My hand doesn't tremble as I hold it out to Jess. "What's this?" She snatches it, tearing it open. I watch her face transform as she pulls out the contents, the 3-week extension text, the $3,800, emergency vet bill, the certified mail receipt, and the business card for Portland Animal Rescue Alliance. "What did you do?" Her voice rises to a shriek. My mother grabs the papers, eyes widening as she scans them. "You gave away our pets? How could you do this to your family?" My father's face darkens to a dangerous red. "This is unforgivable, Sophie. You had no right." "I had every legal right," I interrupt, my voice steady and professional. "I sent a certified letter and an email explaining the situation after Buddy's medical emergency. You were given 14 days to respond, per Oregon state law. You chose not to. At that point, legal ownership was forfeited." "But we were on vacation," Jess wails. "A vacation you extended to 7 weeks without my consent, while dumping 5 animals in my clinic without food, supplies, or medical records." "We'll go get them right now," my father declares, turning toward the door. "Good luck with that," I say. "The cats are still at the rescue. The dogs were adopted yesterday." Jess freezes. "What?" "All 3 dogs were adopted together by a family experienced in senior kidney care. Buddy will finally get the treatment he needs." "Buddy?" My mother's voice wavers. "What's wrong with Buddy?" "Chronic kidney disease. That laziness Jess always joked about? It was organ failure. He collapsed in the middle of the night 6 weeks ago. I paid $3,800 to save his life while Jess was posting vacation selfies." Jess's face crumples, tears welling in her eyes. "You should have called." "I did. You read my text and ignored it. I didn't think it was that serious." "Because you never think, Jess. You never have to. Sophie will handle it. Sophie will fix it. Sophie will pay for it." My voice remains calm despite the fire in my chest. "Not anymore. I am no longer the 24/7 on-call vet for people who don't care if their own pets live or die. My clinic is not a free kennel. If you want your pets back, you can apply to adopt them like everyone else." "This is how you treat family?" My father gestures wildly. "After everything we've done for you?" I meet his gaze. "Everything you've done? Dad, I've provided thousands of dollars in free veterinary care while struggling to make rent. You've taken and taken until there was nothing left, then demanded more." The 3 of them stand frozen, mouths agape. I've never spoken to them this way, not as their daughter, their sister, their Sophie, but as Dr. Lane. A professional with boundaries. Get out of my clinic. I turn back to my paperwork. I have paying clients to attend to. My mother recovers first, drawing herself up with wounded dignity. "Come on. We're going to that rescue center right now. They'll understand when we explain what she did." The door slams behind them. The reception bell jingles with finality. I sink into my chair, exhaling slowly. The clinic feels different now, cleaner, lighter, mine. For the first time in my adult life, I don't feel the crushing weight of guilt. I don't feel the need to apologize for enforcing a boundary. I feel free. The next morning, I unlock the clinic doors with a lightness I haven't felt in years. The familiar scent of antiseptic greets me, but something has changed. The kennels stand empty in the back room. No barking, no whining, no constant reminder of my family's exploitation. I pause at the reception desk, running my finger across the polished surface. Marlene glances up from her computer. "Morning, Dr. Lane." Mrs. Gable called to confirm Charlie's follow-up at 10. Perfect. I hang my coat and check the appointment schedule, a full day of patients who actually want to be here, whose owners respect my time and expertise. When Mrs. Gable arrives with Charlie tucked under her arm, she pauses in the doorway, her head tilting slightly. "It seems so peaceful in here today, Dr. Lane." I smile, feeling the truth of her words settle into my bones. It is, Mrs. Gable. It really is. After examining Charlie's incision perfect, I run through his vitals one last time to make sure he's completely stable before handing him back to Mrs. Gable. I have 10 minutes before the next appointment. I make a cup of tea and actually get to drink it while it's still hot. A small miracle. 2 weeks pass in this blessed calm. Then Marlene buzzes from the front desk. "Dr. Lane? Your sister's here." My stomach tightens, but I take a deep breath. Send her back. Jess appears in the doorway of my office, looking smaller somehow. Her makeup is minimal, her designer clothes replaced by jeans and a plain sweater. The Instagram influencer polish has faded. "Hi," she says, her voice lacking its usual demanding edge. I gesture to the chair opposite my desk. "How did it go at the rescue?" She sits, her shoulders curving forward. "They told me the dogs are gone. All 3, adopted together." Her voice catches. "They said a family with experience in kidney disease wanted them. That Buddy needed specialized care." I nod. Kate called me. "They're good people, retired veterinary technician and her husband. They've dealt with kidney disease in their previous dogs." "I didn't know," Jess whispers, staring at her hands. "About Buddy. I mean, I knew he was slowing down, but I thought..." She stops, swallows hard. "I thought he was just getting old." "He was sick for a long time, Jess." A tear slides down her cheek. The rescue let me adopt the cats. I had to take a pet ownership course first. 4 weeks of classes. She places an envelope on my desk. "This is for the adoption fees. I paid them." I stare at the envelope, remembering countless invoices ignored, texts unread, calls sent to voicemail. This small act of responsibility feels momentous. I'm enrolled in another course too. About pet health. She looks up finally. The instructor said Buddy's symptoms were textbook kidney failure. I nod, keeping my expression neutral. "They're nice, right? The people who took him?" Her voice trembles. "Do they let him sleep on the bed?" "They're wonderful," I say, softening slightly. "They sent me a picture. He has his own heating blanket. The warmth helps with the joint pain." Jess nods, tears spilling over. I never understood. Love has to come with responsibility. "Yes," I say quietly, "just like family has to come with respect." She wipes her eyes, nods again. Then she stands, straightens her shoulders. "I should go. The cats need feeding on a schedule now." After she leaves, I finish my patient notes, clean the exam room, and check on our overnight boarders, all paying clients with signed contracts. At closing time, I turn off the lights and lock the door, pausing to look up at the neon sign that reads, Willow Creek Veterinary Care. My phone buzzes in my pocket. A text from my mother. "Your sister is very upset. I think you were too hard on them." I look at the message for a long moment. Then I switch my phone off and slide it back into my pocket. The November air carries a hint of frost as I walk to my car. For the first time in years, I'm heading home to a quiet apartment where no one will call at midnight about a dog who ate chocolate, or expect free vaccines, or demand my expertise without acknowledgement. I drive away from the clinic, leaving the weight of guilt and obligation behind, finally at peace.